And we are back.
We're back, bumble bitches.
Today is a first.
A first thing of a first thing.
Yeah. Carrie is in the studio today behind the scenes pushing buttons. I'm not going to put her on the mic yet. I'm going to let her ease into this so that it's not weird.
Right.
But she's behind the scene pushing buttons and enter code. So if you guys see the To Be Better chat happening while we're talking,
It's not us.
it's Carrie.
It's scary.
Yep. So this is episode 33 and 34, possibly 35 today of the To Be Better podcast.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We do multiple recordings now, apparently.
We do. Oh, and today is Thursday. Hi, Patreon. For those of you who missed it, garden segment this week was a mystery, shocking twist, like true crime, me super baked. And it happened on Sunday. Was it Sunday? It happened sometime this past week. It will be, it's reposted now.
It just stayed up.
It stayed up. It hasn't come down yet. So that will be for today. And going forward, all of my garden segments are going to be recorded live because I need your guys' energy to feed off of.
And random.
Yes, they will be random as well.
Somebody in the chat said that the music kicked in and it shit scared them out of me. That's what she said. Shit scared them out of me. She was legit scared.
Yeah. That's funny.
You want to talk about your hair?
What about my hair?
Well, I mean, they are currently talking about your hair, but you just told me that you're wanting to do the Amy Winehouse look.
Okay.
Can you see the chat now, woman?
Yeah, I put my glasses back on. I'm not trying to not see things. The all black hair and braids remind me of Wednesday Addams. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, my microphone's right in my face too. I'm so soft spoken that I try to keep it, but I'm also hearing my husband say they want to see your face.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm thinking about getting hair extensions. I'm not thinking about it. I want to. And 200,000 subscribers on YouTube is the goal for that to happen.
We are 10,000 away. Hey. Yep. Carrie, you can put us on both screens until we start reading emails. It'll give you a break. Glad you got a kick out of me being scared shitless. That's funny. True crime plus super baked peach. We are here for that.
Oh man, I try so hard to remain respectful. Oh gosh. Because these are real people and real crimes and there's real loss. Some of these killers are fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
We are less than a month away from a meet and greet. We have like 15 days.
Less than that.
Is it?
Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm counting down to actually driving up there.
Yeah.
So you're probably right on 15 days because it's the 27th.
Yeah. My mom is we'll be up there on the 25th.
Right.
Yeah. My mom is pretty excited to see the kids.
They are very excited to see everybody. They will not stop talking about their cousins.
We have to bring a shit ton of stickers.
Okay.
Probably bring some random shirts.
Okay.
We'll have Carrie go through and reorganize all of that and give us a new inventory so that we can remove shit.
Sounds good.
We normally have a crazy back and forth before we do emails, but we've been live so much that like I don't feel like there's any new information to give people. I almost wore my snakeskin boots and my other hat today.
You did, yeah. I really like that hat on you.
Yeah, I think that's going to take some courage on my part.
Push your comfort zone a little bit.
A lot of it, yeah. Yep, a lot of it.
Forgot my iPad again, guys, so I'm going to be reading from my phone.
Need to ask permission to see if Mama Chris wants a visitor. We actually told her that you guys are coming up, Zach, so she knows that you and Jenny will be with us. So I want to see downtown Blue Ridge while we're there because you've never been there.
No.
There is a train station that goes from Blue Ridge into Tennessee and then back. And it's not a very long train ride, but I think the kids would fucking love being on the train.
Yes.
So that's something we can look into doing.
Okay.
Downtown Blue Ridge is literally like 3 blocks. It's one street, 3 blocks with stuff on both sides. Gravy and biscuits will have to happen while we're out there because, it's true Southern gravy and biscuits. And,
not me making it?
well, you don't have to cook. It's a win when other people will cook for you.
Okay.
I know. All right. Let's just jump into some emails, babe.
No, we're not going to jump into just some emails.
No? Okay.
You wanted to have a conversation about people remaining consistent with trying to be friends even though we're not very active.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. We did say that I did say that I wanted to do that. So Aloha Snack Bar and her husband Andrew are friends of ours who live in the next city over. Mm-hmm. And though we don't ever actually see them because our work schedules are so crazy, Andrew is very, very consistent in speaking to me. And like, he'll message me a lot and get very short answers when I'm busy, but I still respond to him. And he continues to try to maintain that friendship with me, even though he knows I'm stupid busy, and doesn't get offended when I give him 2-word answers to his 3 paragraphs, right?
Right.
And I hadn't heard from him since Thursday of last week, and I made it a point to reach out to him. And I've been talking to him all morning. And when you got here, you were like, you said her name, and said that she was messaging you saying that he actually called us Chris's and Peach instead of Chris and Peaches. And you guys were laughing about it. And you were also saying that you appreciate that. And I think that there's something to be said about people who can maintain a friendship without having that constant eat up each other's ass. And for people like us who are busy the way that we are, I can go months without talking to somebody. But if I'm like, oh shit, I need to message them, I will out of the blue, and we'll talk and things will be good. But having somebody, people in our actual lives, like locally, that appreciates the busyness of everything and doesn't fucking get weird about us not being around all the time is really, really nice.
It is. So, I agree.
Yep. That was all I had. What you drinking over there?
Chocolate milk.
You realize that you got the big ones in the fridge.
Yeah, but this came with my kids' meal.
Oh. Well, there you go. Oh, gosh. We also have decided that we are going to play D&D for sure.
Yes.
And did we decide, are we going with the 2 people that you guys had talked about? Because we can announce that now,
That's
too.
my understanding. Wizards. I'm a child. I want to go on a train.
Zach and Jenny, if you guys are good with the 2 people that we had talked about, we can go ahead and announce that now, too. Tomorrow is the last day for people to pay for the Thailand trip, and everyone is paid up. So everybody that is going is going.
I love that.
Today is July 11th. I believe they have until the middle of August if anybody else would like to go and like book and pay in full. But this won't even be out until after that. So I think the Thailand trip is secured with the 10 people that are going with us.
Yeah. I think that's a good amount of people for our first trip abroad with anyone.
Are you ready, hotness?
Yes. Let's see. This one's short.
Okay.
This says, going on deployment. Themes is life goals not lining up. Hi guys, I'm 23 years old and I'm going on my first deployment with the Army to Syria and Iraq. Terrifying. I could not. Thank you for doing that so I don't have to. Good call.
Yep.
About a year and a half ago, I met what I believed to be the love of my life. She has known about the deployment for the past year and was only a month away from the deployment with only a month away from the deployment, things are getting weird. Okay. So I'm going to pause. Do you believe or have an opinion on someone saying a year and a half ago, I met the love of my life? Do you think a year and a half is a substantial enough amount of time to definitively say, this is the love of my life, this is my soulmate?
No, I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard thing to say because you get different things from different relationships. And I think that you can believe that to be true. I absolutely think that you can believe that to be true. I do believe that when you know, but I also think that speaking indefinites, that this is going to be the only person that I love for the rest of my life, is foolish. You should never speak indefinites. I think that 2 people can be madly in love with each other and you could believe that you're their soulmate, and 15 years from now, you guys hate each other's guts.
Right.
You know what I mean? You grow apart. One person evolves, one regresses. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how that's going to look. I think that it's a beautiful sentiment. And if you really truly believe that this is the love of your life, it means you should be doing a whole lot of work to maintain that. And they should be doing the same thing. And if that's not the case, then this isn't it. Is that not the answer you were expecting?
No, I just wanted your answer. I think that was a very good answer.
Okay.
And what came to my mind is year and a half, you're still in that rose-tinted glasses. We are overlooking red flags.
I agree.
You're filling my needs and my voids, so I'm not really upset that you have a guy best friend right now. But
yeah, I also think that it's important to know that the 2-year mark is what all the studies have suggested, that you wait until the 2-year mark, because that's when the rose-colored glasses, as you call it, fall off.
That obsession phase.
The obsession phase. Yeah, the roommate phase goes away at that point. Like the 2-year mark is the
roommate phase.
You're past the trial. What?
What do you mean roommate phase?
That's when it starts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You fall out of the lust and into the roommate at around the 2-year mark.
Yes.
That's what they say.
People who have degrees.
Yeah.
Which some people gripe about us not having.
Apparently that really matters.
Right. So the degree people say that roughly the 2-year mark is when shit starts to fall apart if we've overlooked red flags.
Yeah.
Okay, continuing on. She's a nursing student and is a 24/7 caregiver for her grandmother that has dementia. Dementia?
Dementia.
It looks like dementia.
It does.
Thank you for validating me on that. She is super busy, and I couldn't imagine that pain she feels on a daily basis. We've been talking about the future more often since the deployment has gotten closer, but I'm starting to feel like our paths don't match up. She is super busy, and I couldn't imagine the pain she feels on a daily basis. We've been talking about the future more often. Okay, so is it more often, or are you guys broaching this for the first time because reality is setting in? Has this past... So let's say the last 4 months, you guys have been having very serious conversations about what the future looks like for both of you. So for the past year and 2 months, have you guys just been living life as a distraction from what you're going through?
That's a good question.
Versus viewing this as something long-term?
I really wish everyone put their age in an email.
He said he's 23.
Okay.
She is unaged.
That matters to me.
I agree.
It really does, because life hasn't begun to dick you down yet in your early 20s. Like, you're just starting to get the tip of life. That full shaft is coming. Like, it's not there yet. So thinking that you've got the world figured out when you're 18 to 22, 23, 25 years old, you don't. You really don't. So there is a lot of questions there. And like their living situation would matter. If they are living together and they're doing everything solely on their own versus one of them living at a parent's house while the other is doing things, like all of that would factor into my thoughts on all of this.
Yeah.
Before you move on, I would also like to point out that Caitlin said that we got married 6 months in. We learned from our mistakes of rushing, needless to say. And then she also said that still together 7 years later, but have been through it.
And that was a choice.
It is. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of growth that has to happen in that. This is, Andrew and I were actually talking about this earlier today. You get into a point where when you're with your person, that you stop focusing on a whole lot of stupid shit. And like, for me, I don't worry about what you're doing. I don't worry about who you're talking to. I don't worry about where you're going. Mm-hmm. I don't worry about what you're doing when you're on the phone. Like, you've never hid your phone from me. It's never been like, oh God, I don't have to think about any of that shit. So when you've been with somebody for that long, if you have the kind of relationship that we have and you had to work to get there, once you have that, it's a very different understanding of what life is supposed to be with partnership.
It's a different piece too.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what we had called it. We had exactly called it. It was peace.
Continuing on.
Sure.
Okay. She wants kids by at least 25 to 26 and get married, and also wants to eventually become a travel nurse. I'm going to pause. That should have been the discussions on the first 3 dates. Do you see yourself having kids? Do you want to get married? Do you have a timeline for that?
I agree.
A year and a half in to talk about having children and what that looks like is kind of wild to me.
Jenny said, I do not think this young woman is very realistic. I actually agree with that. I think a lot of people want to do the traveling nurse thing and doesn't understand the amount of work that it is involved to become a nurse.
Especially if you have multiple children. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a strain. I really wonder how old she is.
Yeah.
Because if she's younger, like 20 or 22, and she wants to have a kid in a year.
Yeah.
What'd she say? No, 25. She wants kids by 25. Okay.
So she wants to be a mom, wants to go to college to be a nurse and work full time, and then wants to travel with kids as a nurse and a husband who's in the military.
Right.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Oh man, if that's the path she chooses, she's definitely gonna get dicked down by life.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that stresses me out. Yeah. Traveling with the kids to Publix.
What would take me 10 minutes takes you 45.
Oh my gosh. We got out of the car the other day. I'm derailing. We got out of the car the other day, And I had Princess and Little Man. I was like, we did the rundown in the car. Like, this is what we're doing. And without fail, the pavement hits chaos. And I was like, guys, we just had the conversation. Like, what are we going to be doing in public? We're going to be on good behavior, up to standard. We're not going to touch things, and we're going to listen to mom. We walked past like 2 or 3 cars. Our son did something, and I was like, I'm done. Get back into the car. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And we walked around. We got back into the car, and the kids buckled up with their seatbelts. I'm just sitting there deep breathing. And they were like, why are we just sitting here? I'm like, because I really want to make cake pops, but I'm so frustrated with your guys' behavior, and I don't know what to do right now, and I'm overstimulated.
You're tisming.
Oh, I really was. And I was like, we're going to sit here. We're going to listen to Encanto for a little bit. I'm going to center myself while singing We Don't Talk About Bruno. And then we went inside, did the thing. I got myself a cookie, and we walked out.
I love that.
Yeah.
Didn't get them cookies?
Yeah, they were like, can I have a cookie? And I was like, I don't know. Have you had cookie behavior?
Ooh.
And they were like, no. And I was like, exactly.
I'd have been like, damn, this cookie tastes amazing.
I was like,
it's so soft and it's kind of warm. Like, this is one of the best cookies I've ever had. You guys would have been able to have this if you behaved.
Yeah.
Jenny said that so many nurses quit their first year when reality sets in. I know that with teachers, most teachers don't make it past the 5-year mark. They go to college to become teachers, and they quit within the first 5 years. I wonder what that number is with nurses.
I couldn't be a nurse.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Zach said everybody wants to wear scrubs, but nobody wants to be vomited on.
Oh, gosh. I could handle
nope.
my infant son pooping on me while changing a diaper. But a person doing that, I couldn't. See, I could handle a lot. The first child death, I don't think I'd be able to recover from that as a nurse.
I don't think you could either. All right, let's go back to the email.
Okay, back into the email. Okay, have kids, have a wife, that is okay. While I would like to continue my military career, have kids, and have a wife that is home to take care of our children. Oh yeah, that is 2 totally different.
Yes, it is.
One of these things is not like the other. We have had multiple conversations about how our lives could meet in the middle, but ultimately it sounds like she wants to be an independent woman with the benefits of a family. Damn.
So does that mean he's going to be stay-at-home dad?
That sentence fucked me up a little bit. I need to sit here and ruminate on that. Do you got anything you want to say?
I think that I think that this is the courting questionnaire. This is truly where this comes into play. If somebody has dreams and aspirations of traveling the world as a nurse, and there's going to be a kid involved, somebody's going to be at home to raise that kid.
Right.
Especially as you're going from country to country to country, or city to state to state to state. Mm-hmm. We're going to bring that kid through 9 different school systems in a school year.
Can't homeschool.
Never allow them to have any friends or have social interactions beyond a couple months at a time. Constantly being the new kid, constantly being bullied and fucked with at school because new kids always have it the worst. Mm-hmm. Especially if they come in like the middle of the school year when everybody else already got their established cliques. Yeah.
Independent woman with the benefits of a family. So I'm thinking of all of the independent women out there who are single, don't have kids, maybe have an animal or 2. The benefits of having a family, me being a single woman, would be to nourish life, to raise human beings who experience and understand love and how to give it. To have a husband is to serve.
And be served. He said, it sounds like she wants to be an independent woman with the benefits of a family. So is that like to brag? I'm doing all of this and I'm a mom? Kind of like how women want the big wedding without having the marriage? Oh my God, they are not ready for that conversation, babe. You can't do... That's a whole episode. That is a whole ass episode. Let's not do that today. Okay. Please, let's not do that today. I am not mentally prepared for that. Did that make sense? It does make sense. And that's isn't that the dream? Most girls live their entire life wanting their wedding day, but it's about the day and not about the marriage. Right. Why would you want that? Wouldn't you, if you're going to travel, why would you want to be hindered? And I mean that. If you have kids and your goal is to travel and see the world, and you're being a parent, you don't get to experience the world the same way because you're being a parent. Correct. Instead of taking in the landscape. Mm. Put that rock down. Don't touch that cactus. That spider's poisonous. Oh my God, there's a snake. All I'm trying to do is look at what God created. We walked all this way. Well, I carried you all this way because little legs ain't carrying you more than a mile at a time.
And now everybody has to go potty.
Right. And now I got here, got to look at you guys do a whole bunch of shit I told you not to do, didn't get to take it in, and you're right. Now somebody's got a pee, so we got to leave.
Yeah.
I really fucking love this vacation. This is great.
That's one thing that I have to really, really reel in after they haven't been listening. We get in the car buckled up and I'm like, oh, we're going home. We're done in the wild. And then they hit me with, Mommy, I have to go potty. And I was like, I looked at you while you were sitting in that little race cart. And I was like, you got to go potty. And you're like, nah. And I was like, check your bladder. What's your bladder saying? You're like, my bladder's empty. What changed? Well, now I have to go potty. And I'm like, thank you for telling me instead of peeing your pants. Let's go inside.
You don't ask. You tell them. You tell them, go to the bathroom. We're about to leave. We got a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
Hit the bathroom. Have you seen that TikTok of so, okay, first and foremost, anytime there's like a video that's like white dads or black dads or any type of stereotype dad, I skip it. The one time I didn't skip it was because somebody was talking to me as I flicked. And as I tuned in, it didn't say that anymore. And then when it started over, I was like, damn it. Because I skipped that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to give people views who do that. Right. White people like, black people be like, I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
But it was like getting snacks, pumping gas, and like anybody need to use the bathroom. We're not stopping again for the next 300 miles. Like,
right.
And he's doing the thing, and he gets in the car, and he's like, everybody went to the bathroom? No. And he takes his glasses off, and he's like, I told you to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. We're not stopping again for 300 miles. And he put his glasses back on, and then they start to pull off and the video restarted again. And all I can think of is that is us every time we leave. Every time we go on a road trip with the kids, every time we stop. I don't care if I just need to get a soda or if we have to get gas. You guys are going to the bathroom and we're getting road snacks.
Because we're not stopping.
We're not stopping again until we get to where we go. Now that we've got the van, though, I want to get one of those cassette toilets. So when they're like, I got to go to the bathroom, I can just be like, have it buckled right next to them on the seat. Yeah. Just tell them to unbuckle and jump on it and go back.
I saw what Janae said. I totally taught my kids how to pee beside the car, because I'm a small town Ontario girl at heart.
Yep.
So our daughter, I taught her, like, I'm going to hold you and you got to bring the knees up like you're squatting in the air. So she can do that. And our son has learned to effectively pee into a water bottle. There's a stretch on the road where there's no restroom for 5 or 10 minutes. And that's always the time he's got to go. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because in Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey has that skunk and goes, say hello to my little friend. And he sprays skunk spray. And that's all I can think of now is our daughter in a pee position. And you're like, not on me, not on the car. Oh my God, what are we doing?
That's kind of how it, yep.
Oh.
I try to teach our son, but he just keeps peeing on himself.
Yeah.
He needs something to aim at. Being a parent's wild. Being a parent's a trip.
Yeah, and people want to do this and travel with their kids.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine the Great Wall of China?
No.
Mommy, I have to go potty. What? Where? Pee your pants. Good luck.
Diapers.
Hold it. Hold it and pray.
That's funny.
They just whip it out. I wish I could whip it out. I fantasize about that sometimes.
You could be standing up. You just got to practice it.
A lot of force.
I'm sure you could do it. Get you a shiwi. They sell them on Amazon.
Yeah.
So girls can pee in the wood while they're camping and hiking. I don't know what's happening right now. But
Carrie's over here like, I have one. Does it work? Like, does it seal enough?
Go ahead, Carrie. Talking to the mic.
It takes practice. I will say that. I tried it my first time in the bathtub, and it's not as easy as it seems, but you have to have a nice seal, and you have to learn how to use it. But I had it for when I cleaned pools.
That makes sense.
Because
Amazon driver might need one.
I'm not built to obviously do that. So
right.
I bought one to be able to do that while I was out cleaning pools because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So I had to have an option.
That makes sense. No, I was just thinking I've gotten really good at taking a water bottle and lining it up to the little spout in the water dispenser on the fridge And I wonder if that's kind of the same thing.
That's wild. All right, let's get back to the email because this just devolved into debauchery.
Okay, sorry.
You guys are fucking wild. The amount of people in the chat on Patreon saying that the Shiwi is a lifesaver.
No way. Get the Shiwi. They are a game changer. Okay, I need to stop. Back into the email. We have had multiple conversations about how our lives could meet in the middle, but ultimately... Oh yeah, that's right. The independent woman with the benefits of a family blew my mind. I have taken her out about 3 times over the past week and a half, and she's randomly sending me portions of the money I spent on us back. Or has shown very little appreciation for the dates.
I wonder if that's a new development.
It sounds like it. Maybe like she's distancing herself. Passive aggressive ways to say this isn't what I want.
Preemptive, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I used to be a really manipulative woman and really vindictive. And I was around other women like that. So I think of the more nefarious reasons a woman might start doing something like that.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I wouldn't do well with that. If I was dating somebody, like if we got past the initial getting to know each other and we were in a relationship, and I'm paying for shit and you're sending me money,
it's like a silent fuck you.
It is like let me be the gentleman.
Right.
Yeah, I would have a problem with that. I wonder how the other men in the chat feel about that. Zach said men's hard mode is to learn to tuck in. Oh, that was a pee comment. Never mind. Cut that. I'm trying to move away from the pee conversation. You guys are killing peaches.
Oh gosh, that's so... Oh, I can tell we're all autistic. That's funny. All right. We're hyper fixating on pee. We need to move on, guys. Stop it. Pay attention. We're all getting checked right now. I've been asking questions regarding our roles in the future since she keeps bringing up the family dynamic, and yet her response is that I should be providing and protecting while she goes across the country and works. Okay, but that's doable without children.
Right.
He's deployed. You are over here building up your career.
So wait a minute. She wants him to protect and provide and parent while she abandons all of it to go travel the world and be a nurse?
Well, she didn't say parent.
Well, she did, because if she wants to have kids by 25 years old, I guarantee you she's not a nurse yet.
Right.
Not at 23. She might be like a CNA, but she's not like an RN or anything. But how does that work? You're gonna have a kid that's gonna take a year of your life,
right?
Getting there. So
you mean like with a pregnancy and whatnot?
Yeah, you call it a year.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of practice runs before the pregnancy actually takes hold.
Right.
In 9 months, and then you obviously can't leave right away because you gotta
postpartum,
right, and feed and all of that stuff.
Newborn stages.
And do you really want to just pop one out and abandon it while you go and do the nurse thing? Like, how's that gonna work? So now we're talking into your 30s. So you want to go and live your 30-year-old dream life while he stays at home and does the parenting thing so that you can just be free to go do what you want to do? Why are you even in a relationship?
I agree. And at that point, like, why even... This is going to sound really shitty, but I'm posing this as an honest, genuine question. Why even have children at that point?
Right.
I would view the later years when they are developing their character and are actually becoming human beings more crucial than the newborn stages. The newborn stages are important. They call it like kangaroo time, where you're cuddling and snuggling, and all of that is very important. And I don't remember my infant years.
Yeah.
I don't remember really anything beyond 5 or 6. I wouldn't want to miss that.
Right.
Traveling.
Yeah. Alex said my best friend is 24 and has been a nurse for 4 years. I don't believe that she's an RN. Not at 24 years old. Unless she just went to school straight to be an RN and skipped all of the other certifications to get there, which I don't know if that's possible or not, but I would have been an RN at 21 if I took the second half. I guess I just don't know enough about nursing, so I'm ignorant, I guess. I just know that the person that I know that is actually an RN now has gone through like 6 different fucking certifications to get to where she is. And
maybe she specialized in something?
Maybe. I mean, she's currently working in the mental health field in the prison systems in California. So I don't know.
Yeah. Now I want to like think of some scenarios. So she's the traveling nurse. They have children. He is deployed because he wants to work on his military career. And then she says, well, we can homeschool. I don't know how traveling nursing works. I don't know if you're filling in at hospitals during like natural disasters or like they have an uptick in whatever, or if you are you doing like hospice work for people who are at home care where you can structure your own schedule and do homeschooling?
Yeah. Apparently I'm way wrong, guys. So everybody that listens to this podcast, when it airs, you don't have to tell me in the chat I'm wrong and you don't have to email us. Our Patreon's got it covered. I was way wrong. I stand corrected.
Now we know.
I
have more information.
Yep. Informed. I just ruined somebody angrily typing to me in the future. If you're okay, if you're actually an RN and you're accredited, you can literally go pretty much anywhere in the world to work. So you could do outreach work. You could go and deal natural disasters places. You could do like what's that called? Job Corps. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where they go and they work for like third world
like Red
countries.
Cross stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So if that's the case and that's what she's trying to do, you definitely don't want to be dragging a kid around doing all that.
Yeah, I would not recommend that. Very traumatizing for children. But
Sabrina is here while in labor. You ain't pushed that baby out yet, woman.
You're still in labor? We called it maybe baby labor last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she wasn't like full blown labor yet, but they weren't sure what was going on.
Doctors Without Borders is what I was talking about.
Doctors Without Borders.
Alex said, sorry if I came across shitty. You didn't come across shitty at all. I know that like every time I say something that I think is true, if I'm wrong at all,
please tell us.
We love getting emails because I get them fucking constantly.
Yeah.
The EMT that we did the first Voice of the Broken episode on, I got like 7 emails correcting what I was talking about because I didn't have the information.
Yeah.
Some were coming from a place of just so you know, and some were like, you're not very intelligent.
Hey, fuckface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay. So say she's dead set on doing the traveling nurse thing. Now we're making up shit. This is all made up. I'm cussing too much. I need to dial it in. We are making things up. She's set on to being the traveling nurse. She wants to travel across America or travel abroad. Did I say America? America?
I don't know. I was sitting here thinking about, damn, you said this was a short email.
Why am I like this?
We're 40 minutes in. This is not short.
Do you remember the first time we derailed after the subject line of the email?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It was so bad that you were like, okay, back to the email. And you're like, holy shit, we just started.
Yeah. So she's dead set on doing that. She wants to homeschool. That's her argument on how to make it work because he is deployed in another continent. Then at that point, you have to hire somebody to be a live-in nanny for the children. So is that an expense that we're willing to have? And also, that person is going to be around the children more often. So for big memories, you're not going to be there. This person's going to be in your place. Are you okay with that? All right. I've been asking questions regarding our roles in the future since she keeps bringing up the family dynamic, and yet her response is that I should be providing and protecting while she goes across the country and works. She says that since I get to do it, she should be able to do it. You can.
Without a kid.
Just
absolutely.
don't fucking have kids. And I that F-bomb was on purpose because I'm saying that with my full chest. If your attitude is you're doing it, so I'm doing it, that sounds like every time you don't spend frivolously. So
You talking about me? The fuck I don't.
Okay, do you want to know what I meant by frivolously?
Sure.
More than 10 grand.
Okay. We work hard for our money. I buy all kinds of stupid shit.
You do, but if we're like a vacation.
Hey, I'm going to derail the fuck out of you right now.
Oh no. Wait, hang on. Fuck, it's already gone. Okay, go.
I started looking at garden stuff today for you while buying my vests on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I was like, raised flower beds or whatever to see what they had pre-built so that I didn't have to build anything.
Right.
We should go to Tractor Supply and buy those giant silver water troughs.
That's what I was looking at.
And use those instead of buying the garden beds.
That's what I was looking at.
They won't degrade. Mm-hmm. And if they rust, they'll look dope as fuck.
Right.
And I would be okay with having those all over the property. Fuck yes. Yeah. Meant to tell you that this morning. Mental high five. You're too far away. We need to do that. I can give you a budget for it because I spent quite a bit of money this morning on leather.
It sounds tit for tat.
It does. Well, it sounds like we're living our best lives.
No, not that. Her going,
Yeah.
you're traveling the world, so I want to travel. It sounds tit for tat. That was my point.
Why don't they get married and try to have him get stationed in other countries? Go get stationed in Germany for a few years. See if you can get stationed in Hawaii and then go to Japan.
And then travel with him and work while you're there doing the nursing thing.
Right. That would be the move.
That's the move.
And just don't do it with kids.
Have kids when you're done.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Alex said that I work at a feed store and have 3 of them. We're planting in and I sell them all the time. That works so good. Yep.
Oh my God, babe.
That was a good idea.
We're going to get so healthy.
Okay.
Yay. I would say that was a very submissive okay. And that yay verified.
Crumble cookies so bad.
Oh, gosh.
It's been like 5 days that I've been craving that shit. I ate an Oreo last night and it was like cocaine. My brain lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. But it took everything I had not to go back in there and grab an entire row of Oreos and sit back on the couch.
That has been my sweets for the day.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, I get 5 every day. And that's it. The thought of eating a cookie from Crumble Cookie makes my chest hurt. There's so much sugar. All right, continuing on.
Yep.
And I keep telling her it's up to me and that it's not the same. I just don't understand where children come into play, and apparently it's a deal breaker for her. I'm just trying to figure out if this makes sense to continue before I leave for an entire year. No.
This speaks on the retirement, right? Like if you were like, I want to live, and we talked about this already, but if you're like, I want to live in a high rise on Miami Beach and be right in the center of the metropolis, and that's my retirement. And I'm like, I want a farm, or I want to live on a boat. And we have 2 very different retirements. One of us will be resentful because one of us will be missing that retirement.
Right. And then on my deathbed, I regret everything.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yep.
You get to live this life once.
And at 23 years old and you being in the military, just don't join the military in a relationship like that.
Yeah. And don't rush to marry.
Yeah. Ask everybody that's deployed with you how their marriages are going while you're deployed. See how many Dear John letters you get. Yeah.
Well, that was the end of that.
Okay.
If the children are the deal breaker, see, the children wouldn't be the deal breaker for me. It would be her wanting to be a traveling nurse while doing all of it. You want a woman to stay at home with the children. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to be a working mom. Why are you looking at me like that?
Did he say that he wants a woman to stay at home with the children, or are you saying that a woman belongs at home with the children?
He said...
Oh, okay. Okay.
What?
Because, boy, they're angrily typing right now. I can see the emails that are going to come through because of this episode.
No.
Peach has said that a woman belongs at home. Well, what if I want to be an independent, strong woman who don't need no man?
You can. Just from the information I've gathered, me and many women like me prefer to be at home versus in the world interacting with others. Oh, it's so much more nice. And I can do all of my little hobbies. I can get baked while doing it. I can cook. I can lay on the floor whenever I want to. You don't have to do that. It's nicer. I think it's nicer. So he said, I would like to continue my military career, have kids, and have a wife that is home to take care of our children.
Okay. I agree.
Okay.
That's what I would like to if I was in the military.
You can be the working mom and have a husband who stays at home, and maybe his job is remote. And he can do all of it from home, and you guys' combined income is like 6 figures, like high 6 figures a year. And you're making money and you're dope doing the thing, and you work for 3 months and you're able to come home for 3 months and you're okay with missing out on things, and your family dynamic is dope and is working for you, then do it. Trying to push somebody into your wants and needs is wrong. Finding somebody with wants and needs that align is the move.
I also think that it's pretty important to recognize that just because you have kids doesn't mean that you're going to like your kids. And if you have children and they grow up with somebody else and they pick up somebody else's personality traits, their behavior traits, their incorrect way of thinking, in your opinion, you're not going to like them as people. And as they grow up and you guys have a divide between you because you weren't the one to raise them with your values and your understandings, You're going to find yourself very disconnected as an adult, and you're going to be estranged then as well. Mm-hmm. Why do that?
Yeah. I hit our son with the other day when you walked in and he was laying on the ground throwing that fit. I hit him with, I don't want to be around you when you're like this. And if this is how you're going to choose to behave, we will be doing separate activities.
Till you learn to act right.
Right. All right. Do you want to do another one?
Yes.
This one is titled Financial Relationship Question, and this has an update included.
Okay.
I've been dating this amazing man who I adore. We've been talking about getting married and having a family. We've also talked about having a joint bank account. Okay. I've recently realized by sharing this info with close friends, they are all against.
You got that that hate. Why would you have your money stored? You got the comments that you should create your own bank account for emergencies just in case this doesn't work out. You've been told this entire time that you should have an emergency fund put away just in case, regardless of the prenup.
Hide money in secrecy.
Hide money in secrecy. Like, yeah, let's just have a fucking marriage that is 1 foot out the door that we're never really truly committed to.
I would feel so betrayed if you did that.
Yeah, I believe it. I am curious how many of the people that are in her life actually have successful relationships. Because if you have somebody that is in a relationship that is very successful, does not have any drama, there's no real arguments or fights, and one person handles all the money, there's no fear there. That person's not going to be like, you really need to have an emergency fund.
Right.
You should have an emergency fund in case something goes wrong. If you can't pay your rent for a few months, but that should be something that's allotted with your finances.
Yeah.
It's not a hidden thing. Yep.
I could see hiding money in secrecy if there was abuse happening.
Well, yeah, that's an exit.
Right.
That's an exit strategy.
Right. That's an extreme scenario. Yeah. I do view that in a typical relationship. We're trying to get along. I do view that as deceptive behavior. Or
she started that email with, I have the most amazing man.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And she's got people outside of her relationship trying to tell her how to live her relationship. If they're not giving you like proper advice, learn to communicate, go to therapy. It's very different than your relationship's really good right now, but it won't be one day. Right. Everybody's in love until they're not. No, you need to fucking go somewhere. I can't even have you around me.
I wouldn't be able to control my face in that situation. Yep. I could control my mouth, but my face would not be.
Fucking Jenna. My secret emergency fund consists of $5 because sometimes I want to have a little sneaky chocolate bar.
Oh, yeah, buying that little Snickers. Oh, my gosh, hitting up Checkers and getting that cheesecake ice cream sundae. Oh, God, it's so good.
You don't have to have an emergency fund for that.
No, I don't. No, I'm just thinking about snacks now because she said chocolate bar.
All right, let's continue.
Okay.
I'm curious to see how shitty these friends are.
All right. Some of their reasoning is that we've been together only 4 months. We do live together and we're not married. But at the same time, this man has done so much for me in the past 4 months that my ex-boyfriend never did in the entire 7 year of our relationship.
Say that again.
This last sentence?
Yeah.
At the same time, this man has done so much for me in the past 4 months that my ex-boyfriend never did, my ex-boyfriend never did in the entire 7 year relationship. Okay. So I'm going to pause here. I would not get I would have a joint bank account for shared bills, right? Rent is coming out of this bank account. Electric bills are coming. My paycheck is still going into my own private bank account. 4 months into a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of your spending habits yet. I don't know what your finances look like fully.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were only together for 4 months.
Joint account for joint bills.
Yep. I don't even think that's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got a joint bank account, why? You can, unless it's only to transfer money.
Right.
Right. That I could get.
That's what I mean.
You could cash app the rent.
Yeah.
Like you could just give cash. You could write a check. You don't have to have a shared bank account for that. And the reason that I say that is that at 4 months, if you've got fucked up credit, I don't want you on my bank account.
Oh, true. I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Good call.
So timing matters. Yeah. This is why we tell people we need all the details, because now the conversation is very different than what it was 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 months in, I'm very much viewing this as you were love deprived for almost a decade, and if somebody starved, have you heard of that story of the guy who was imprisoned and he starved himself for like 6 months? He ate enough to survive, but he starved himself to the point to be able to slip through the bars to get out. This was in some like prisoner of war shit. And then once he was finally able to eat, he overindulged to the point that he almost killed himself because he was so hungry.
That's crazy.
Don't do that with love.
We've talked about that quite a bit on the podcast.
Yes. Appreciate this man is going out of his way to love you. Do not put him on a pedestal, though, if he is doing the bare minimum. I hate that phrasing. But if he is a good guy doing good guy things and he's a gentleman, I expect that out of a man.
Right? That's important to say.
Right.
Because that changes what you're looking for in a man and what you're willing to tolerate in a relationship. Mm-hmm. If you have a set expectation of what you deem is necessary in your relationship, you're not going to date bums. You're going to go on that first date and he's not going to come to your door or open your car door and you're going to be like, hey, thanks for dinner. Here's my half. I'll see you later. I'm gonna Uber home. Like,
right.
There's no reason for us to even continue this any further because you're not a gentleman, right? Because you know that's what you expect.
Right.
That's important.
And then from there, right, like the things that I would really take note of and be like, damn, like for my husband, when I was like, damn, he's the one, the integrity that you have. You're a man of your word. When you commit to doing something, you get it done. You might need some gentle reminders, but it happens.
A general reminder shit comes from how busy things get.
Right.
And where things land on the priority list of things to do, which is normally when you're like, I stop what the fuck I'm doing to do it? Because if I don't, there's a very strong possibility I'm going to forget because I'm going to get a phone call and then 3 emails and then I'm going to have to pee.
Right.
And now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So like, that's how that goes.
You uphold a certain honor to your friends and your family. Like you, when I think of you, I think of a knight. And I don't mean that in a corny way. Like they live by a rule of code. Like,
can I be a samurai instead?
Yes.
Okay.
That's better.
Their armor's way cooler.
It is way cooler. I like their swords better too.
I like the demon masks.
Yeah.
It's my shit. Yeah.
So much more intimidating than just clank.
Yep.
Yeah.
All I can think of when I think of knights is the Holy Grail. What is it? Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Will always be that guy. Tis a flesh wound. Tis but a scratch.
That's funny.
Now go away or I shall taunt you again.
All right, so we expect a man to be a gentleman. Boys and males are not men. Those are separate categories. We're imaginary diagram, everybody, all right? So now, from a man, bare minimum, using terminology people understand, gentleman shit. Opening the car door. He's getting into the elevator first. Make sure there's no threats. He is standing behind you when you're walking up the stairs, and he's in front of you when you're going down the stairs. All of it.
There's an entire video on our To Be Better YouTube channel about it. There's actually multiple. You can go there and watch it, so she doesn't have to remember all this.
Yeah, gosh, it's so hard right now. I'm ad-libbing all of this.
Zach said that he's never seen a Monty Python movie.
Me either.
They're not very funny. People love them. You would because of your humor. If you watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail from a D&D standpoint, it is a D&D campaign. And the stupidity that transpires is fucking D&D.
That would make sense.
But then when you watch Lord of the Rings, so is Lord of the Rings. It's just expert level D&D.
Okay. I love that perspective.
I'm going to grab a soda. Do you need anything while you're up?
No. No, I'm going to continue my diagram before it fades away. So, bare minimum, gentleman shit. And then the things that we're going to start taking note of that is above and beyond behavior is not looking at thirst traps, right? He doesn't fill his spare time with naughty thoughts. He's actually a person. He has hobbies, he has interests, he has aspirations.
Chase money, not hoes.
Hey.
Sorry.
Let's see what else. He has integrity. He is loyal to people. If there was a conversation taken to the grave with an ex, it's taken to the grave. It's not gossip now.
I am the man that will never air somebody's dirty laundry.
Right.
You can be my worst fucking enemy now, but if you trusted me enough at one point to tell me your dirty laundry, I'll die with that secret.
Yeah.
I'm also not one to throw shade on other people. Like if we had a falling out, I don't care if you're the one that did me dirty. The relationship just didn't work out between us. They're no longer my friend. That's the end of it.
Right.
There's no point in running around and telling everybody what you did. We're just not cool anymore.
Right.
Do you really need to know? Is it going to somehow fix what happened? No. Is it going to maybe alter your opinion of somebody else? You need to make that decision.
Right.
You need to get to know them and form your own fucking opinion. Not
based
take
on your
mine.
interactions.
Right.
Emotional maturity. Doesn't throw things, doesn't hit things. When he raises his voice, when she raises her voice, there is an apology for that happening. I don't want to talk to you that way. Even when we're in the thick of a disruption, you go out of your way to comfort me and hug me because it calms things down. A 1-minute hug does a lot.
That was one of the hardest things that I have ever had to do in a relationship.
You're really good at it now.
Well, because I understand what it does now.
Yeah.
And so I was one of those people for a long time that when I'm angry or we're having an issue, I withdraw because I have to maintain my composure, and me like isolating myself and starting to disassociate is how I keep calm. So like with us, when you're like, I need compression and I'm mad at you, the first time you were like, can you hug me? And I was angry with you. I wanted to be like, get the fuck away from me.
Bitch, no.
Right. Like, fuck you mean you want a hug?
Did you hear what you just said to me?
Right. And I was like, fine. And I hugged you and I was like, hey, this is kind of nice.
And I could tell you didn't want to do it. So I was like, thank you for doing this.
But as that's been a thing, it's become normal now. And it doesn't feel like we don't love each other when we argue. It feels like we just don't understand what's going on right now.
Sucks this is happening.
Right. It's a very different feeling because there's still physical contact and love. That also speaks on the we do for each other. They still, is there anything you need from the kitchen? I'm gonna go ahead and make dinner. What would you like? Like all of that shit that we do adds to that. It compounds to disruptions just being a disruption and not a fight.
Yeah. That was really hard for me in the beginning to continue to water and nurture our marriage, even though I was upset. Very clearly, I cry at everything. My emotions swing a lot. And I've gotten my anger and my frustration and all of that, I think, under pretty good wraps.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, when we were really working on navigating each other's triggers and each other's fallout from those triggers, it was really hard for me to not take things personally.
Right.
Oh man, one day you hit me with just stop taking things personally. I was like, fuck you for saying that, but why did it hurt so good? like I needed to hear it, but ouch.
Yeah.
Like hearing that out loud confirmed my worst fears, and that's bringing all of the dark shit to light. It doesn't make it so bad once you realize you can fix it.
Yeah. Fixing it's a lot harder than going fuck you to somebody though.
Right.
And that's why people stay in their arguments and don't ever get to conflict resolution, because it's easier to, you're the problem, not me. If you change, I don't have to.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Change is hard. It's worth it.
It is.
It's hard.
Definitely is. All right. End diagram. We're moving on.
Okay.
My current man moved from Florida to Pennsylvania just to be with me. He moved his entire life. Oh, so now I have a personal anecdote. I got with a guy that I knew in high school vaguely. We had a base friendship. And I moved 800 miles after doing virtual dating for like 6 or 7 months.
It worked out real well for you. I know because you're here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. A lot of trauma from that relationship. But if you asked me in the moment, I'm making the right choices. I'm leaving my home. My life is going to be dope. There were red flags that I 100% ignored because it was an escape from what I was experiencing in the moment and previously. It was a distraction in the moment. 100% was banking on an illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. I'm used to always doing everything on my own and having to pay for everything such as bills, food, and everything else because my ex never did. All right, so that falls in line with gentleman shit. Right? If we're living together, we're paying bills together. Or if we're on the traditional mindset, babe, I'm paying the bills. I would not over glamorize somebody paying bills. That's what I'm trying to get at. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Don't over romanticize it.
Okay.
Maybe.
Why not over romanticize it?
Because that's how people who come from trauma fall into more trauma.
Elaborate.
So when I look back on my trauma and experiencing everything I went through, because it always felt like one thing after a fucking another. And I was drowning and nothing is ever getting better. And if I could put imagery to that, it is... Do you remember that scene from Shogun when they're fighting in that little pond that's like mid-calf deep?
Spoiler alert. You talking about when the dude fell and hit his head on the rock?
Yes.
Oh, that pissed me off so bad.
Yeah.
You were sleeping on the couch and it took everything I had not to stand up and scream at the fucking television when that happened.
I'm so glad you didn't ruin it for me.
Oh, so bad. And then Sean came over for poker the next night. I'm like, did you catch up on Shogun yet? And he's like, no. I'm like, dude, I need to fucking talk to someone about this.
It's eating me alive.
I need a therapist right now. But yes, I remember that scene.
Okay, so it's like a calf-high little wading pool with stepstones and whatnot, and it's torrential downpour. I can't see my hand in front of my face. And I know that there's stepping stones, and I know that there's rocks over here, and I know that there might be like a big plant here.
And somebody else in the water trying to kill you.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm stumbling, and I'm like, I'm sure that there's a step here. I know where I'm at this point. And I take that confident step, and my foot falls through, and I stumble. And that's the next traumatic thing. And then I get up from that, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of sure of this move now. This looks really good. I'm testing it a little bit, and I take that step, and then I slip. And that's the next traumatic thing. Is that making sense? That's what I meant by stumbling or falling into the next traumatic thing. And people who haven't experienced really dope relationships or even basic acquaintanceships with boundaries and healthy interactions, getting a little bit of niceness from somebody is like getting water when you've been in the desert for 40 days. Appreciate it, but don't glamorize it. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I'm doing, but I've highlighted something and I don't know how to get the highlight to go away, but it's okay. So she's used to doing everything on her own. The ex never helped. So I worry I might have blinders on because I'm reveling.
Continue the sentence so that I can tell you the word.
In the moment and flourishing with this man.
Reveling?
Yeah,
reveling in the moment. But they're 4 months into a relationship, so everything is new and shiny. Right. Rose-colored glasses. Yeah.
He makes me a better person, and we make each other complete.
4
Too
months.
soon to know that. In my opinion, too soon to know that. Our relationship... Okay, I'm going to pause. The reason I say too soon to know that is because I didn't know how you handled a bad situation when you're really going through it. And I don't think I've experienced maybe the mid of the iceberg, right? Of you having a bad day. We're not all the way at the full depth of this 300-foot deep iceberg.
I don't have bad days. I don't have bad days anymore.
Okay.
I have inconveniences that we discuss and it doesn't fester.
Right.
Right. If I get a cut and I immediately stop what I'm doing and I go wash it and treat it and take care of it immediately, it's a minor cut. If I ignore it, it becomes an infectious fucking problem. Now we're looking at amputation, right? Like now things are really fucking bad because I've ignored it and I let it go. So we don't have bad days like that anymore. We have minor. So like, I don't think you'll ever see me at that because I have somebody now that I can unload on and I trust that is going to be there. I don't have to. I'm no longer doing the Zelda thing without my sword, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I meant more along the lines of external factors affecting you, right? And seeing how you cope and gaining new coping mechanisms and all of those kinds of things. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I don't, I mean it when I say that. Like, life is different now.
Right.
I don't. When you have a family support system,
okay,
it's very different than when you have to figure everything out by your fucking self.
Right.
I haven't had a family support system, even in past lives. It's always landed on my shoulders to do things. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I actually have. I don't have to worry about a negative backlash if I make a bad decision. I may have a conversation about it afterwards, like, hey, I don't like it when you do that. And that's very different than you're a piece of shit, you're fucking stupid, blah, 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 blah. The situation has changed. Mm-hmm. And because of that, things don't get to the point of being bad. When something comes up, I'm like, hey, this is what's happening. We talk about it.
Right.
And life goes on. And it doesn't matter if it's from you or if it's external. Okay. If something's happening at the tattoo shop that I don't like, you're the first person I call, hey, this is what's going on. And we talk about it. And by the time I get off the phone, I'm not angry anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm calm. I've had some ideas bounce back and forth, and at least now I'm thinking things logic brain instead of emotional brain.
Right.
If there's been, I don't know how personal I want to get on the podcast right now. There's somebody that we did something for a couple of years ago that ended up really biting us in the ass.
Yeah.
And there was a whole lot of emotion behind it on both of our parts. But I got over it super fucking quick because we talked. Mm-hmm. You didn't.
Yeah.
And I realized that in the moment, and it was the first time you had ever gotten to experience that.
Yeah.
And so because I'm weathered in this, I've experienced this a lot in helping people, because that's what happens when you help people, you get fucked over it. You learn to just accept it. So in the moment where I'm like, this is what's happening, fuck this, I'm blah, blah, blah. You're like, yeah, fuck that, blah, blah, blah. And we talked about it for a minute, and it's like, okay, I'm good now.
And I'm like, I'm sad.
But those external conversations fall back into what we were saying a minute ago. Yeah. I don't get like that. Like, I can't remember the last time I've had bad mental health days.
Right.
But I haven't had a bad day since the hurricane.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit further then.
Okay.
And give an example. The silent treatment day.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
So.
But that was that before or after the hurricane? Because if it was after, I lied, because I forgot about that.
I want to say it was before.
Okay, then we're
good.
Yeah,
no, it was very long ago.
Okay.
But that I'm using that example because if we never had a conversation of, you're giving me the silent treatment, what do you mean? I'm processing.
Well,
right.
Okay, so let's talk about that though, because what we're talking about right now came from me not being able to go, why are you giving me the silent treatment?
Right.
Why are you treating me that way? Never been able to have that conversation. I've had to accept the behavior of the other people in my lives because you can't control other people.
Right.
And when you have two emotionally mature people who are volatile towards each other, you can't have those conversations. So you have to accept the behavior of the person that's being thrown at you. Oh my God, excuse me. If you
you're so into it.
If you want to exist past the day.
Right.
If you and I were volatile and we are having a hard time, and I'm like, I'm tired of you giving me the fucking silent treatment because we're fighting right now, and you blow up on me and then I blow up on you back, we may not make it through the end of this argument.
Right.
So you choose to shut down, disassociate, and just be mad at each other.
Yeah.
There's no resolution there. We don't do that.
Yeah.
So in the moment when I feel like you're off, I don't go, you're mad. I go, hey, I can tell your energy's not right. Talk to me so that I understand what's going on right now. The time that happened and that whole silent treatment day happened, I was matching your petty ass energy, even though you weren't being that way.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that I was safe enough to go, hey, I don't want to do this. Yeah. Like, I love you and don't want to fight with you right now. Like, that was something that we had to experience that one time to understand that we can have conversations.
Right.
So again, because of things like that, I don't have bad days anymore. Those things don't happen.
But it took us a while to get to that conversation because that was the first time that's ever happened.
Right. Like 6 hours of me being pissed.
Right.
Thinking that you were not talking to me.
And they're 4 months in.
Yeah.
So if you don't know how somebody is going to react to a situation and you guys are capable of having a conversation to get through that speed bump, and then suddenly you guys are volatile after one argument. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Aloha Snack Bar said, can I ask what it looks like? What do those conversations look like when Chris is venting to Peach? How does Peach respond? Is she offering other perspectives or just listening and validating? It depends on my frustration level.
Yes.
There are times where I want to have a back and forth. There are times where I will talk without shutting the fuck up for 30 minutes and go, okay, I'll see you when I get home.
That's how it goes sometimes. I just like hearing your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss you when you're gone. So when you call me, I'm like, oh, hey, look at that. It's my man.
I think that comes down to being able to read what your partner needs. There are times where I'm like, if I ever call and I'm like, I'm so fucking mad right now, she doesn't say shit. I'll just vent and then be like, okay, I'll see you in 30 minutes when I'm home or whatever it is that I'm coming home. Because I just need to hear myself process. I'm an audible person. So I can talk out loud while driving in my car by myself and completely figure my shit out.
Yeah.
But I feel like a psychopath talking to myself in the car. So I call and then I can't.
I just like being a part of things. So it works.
But I think that the start of the conversation matters. I have some things I want to run by you.
Yeah.
Means that we have to have a conversation.
Oh gosh, and it doesn't give me anxiety either.
Right.
If you hit me with, we need to talk.
Right. Because it's very different. They're very different thing.
I'm calling you. I'm not even texting you back. It's an immediate.
Yeah. Yeah. We do the, there's something I need to run by you right now. There's a problem.
I need your opinion.
That's code. Yeah. That's code for I have to make a really big decision or there's a big problem right now. And like, I'm not okay, but I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other ones are, hey, what's up? I don't know. What are you doing? That's also like, I'm calm and I just need to problem solve.
Yeah.
So like you learn these things in dealing with your person though, just like you learn their body language. It comes from really paying attention and being situationally aware to the person. So that, I hope that answers your question.
That was a really good point because you'll hit me with, are you busy? And I'll hit you with what's up? And you just immediately go, because I know you're looking for problem solving or my undivided attention on something.
Yeah. If I ever ask if you're busy, I need a lot of your time, undivided attention.
Yeah. Okay. Continuing on. He makes me a better person for each other to complete. Our relationship views are also very similar to yours. I've talked with my family, which is why I lean more toward a joint account because my family is more conservative and selfless. They see it as our money, our success, not mine or his.
At 4 months, it's not yours.
Yeah.
It's not ours. Harpy Vampire, is it pretty common for people who have only had unhealthy relationships to be scared when they have a healthy one? I feel I am finally in a healthy relationship and I am terrified of him leaving. Yeah, that's fucking normal.
I was so scared. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go first. I won't forget.
I'm going to probably say the same thing you are, so go ahead.
Well, I want to hear what you have to say.
Probably not, but when you have... This is the same starving analogy. If you have never had anything healthy before and you finally get a little taste of something good, of course you're going to latch onto that shit. But if it works and you are able to relieve yourself of all of that past trauma and you are truly able to connect, this falls into what I said earlier about I don't worry about things. There's not been a single instance where you have done something where I have lost sleep other than the one time that you went to the bar. And I've had a lot of really bad relationships. There's a lot of fucking trauma in my life. When you have that comfort and that understanding, it changes everything, but you have to do the work or you're going to self-sabotage.
Right.
So what were you going to say?
I was going to say the day that my husband proposed to me, I was having a mental breakdown asking if you were still in love with me because I was so not used to chaos. Yeah. It was crazy. It is definitely a normal thing. That's also when self-sabotaging will really start to kick in because you're used to the chaos. You'll start to create it to satiate that craving.
I don't know what's happening in the chat right now. You're allowed to say hello and join in on the conversation. I apologize if you felt ignored. Did we miss something? It's very hard to do the live readings with you guys in the chat because if I pay attention to the chat or she pays attention to the chat, the conversations get missed.
Right.
So we try not to look at the TV and like focus, but every once in a while I'll catch something that I feel I need to address and you do the same.
Yeah.
So if somebody said something that needs to be addressed and we missed it, just do it again. And I will pay attention to the chat for a minute and see if we missed something. The chat keeps freezing. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't want somebody to feel like they're being ignored. Everybody is welcome to have conversations here.
Oh, cool. It gives me a sip.
It's not us. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. It wasn't us.
Oh, well, who was it? Now I want to say hi.
I think their name was Amanda. Hello, Amanda. You're welcome here. Sorry that nobody talked to you. That's okay. It happens. Chat gets moving. People are in multiple conversations. They tend to look for the chat that's happening and not. It happens. It happens. It happens in the ball pit and Discord sometimes too.
Yeah.
We do try. I'll even make it a point if I'm scrolling and see that nobody responded. I'll make it a point to actually have a conversation, even though I'm not there right now.
Hello, Amanda. Bon après-midi. What did I just say?
It happened both times I came into the chat. PJ's Creations. We talk to you all the time. You're not a black sheep. How's your snake business doing? I didn't listen to you because I was reading the chat. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Real-time example.
Yeah. Let's get back to the email because I've now side railed.
Okay. They see it as our money, our success, not mine or his. It's a shared effort and success and a commitment of true trust with the financial aspect. Oh man, I don't think anybody's ever earned my trust in 4 months.
Not even me? Don't answer that. Let me live in my delusion.
Okay.
I like to believe that I'm special. And not short bus special, but like Superman special. And that this is my alter ego instead of Superman being my alter ego.
Okay.
I'm actually Superman. You guys are seeing Chris right now.
Right. I'm too baked for this. What the fuck is happening?
I'm stroking my ego and pretending that I'm something I'm not. It's okay.
Yeah, Billy Squire song.
Nope. Don't even know who that is.
Stroke. Dun, dun. Stroke me, stroke me.
Oh, yeah.
Stroke. Yeah. I can't remember any of the other songs.
Yeah. Abby said, we've never seen Chris and Superman in the same room. I'm just saying. My D&D character has an outfit that's reversible so that I can change in the bathroom.
You do. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's such a good song. Oh, I got derailed. Okay.
All right, yeah, let's get back to it.
Back into it. This man really had brought me closer to my faith, my family, showed me what love is in a selfless manner, and has helped me heal from my past relationship. He's even helped tackle my debt when he doesn't have to. I don't expect him to, but he does. I forgot how it was to be unconditionally loved because my past relationship was very manipulative, and I put myself in debt trying to carry all of the responsibilities on my own. I'm the only one to blame. I'm the only one to blame for doing that because I should have left years ago, and I don't have a reason to as why I didn't. I guess what I'm asking is it not okay to share a bank account and income anymore? First question.
Which was what?
Were you reading the
I did look at the chat because I was waiting to see how her snake business is doing, but she hasn't answered.
The question was...
No, hold on, because I'm going to forget. You, do you think that in 4 months, somebody paying the bills, tricking, doing all the things that they're doing in the 4 month area is a form of manipulation? And do you, gaslighting, fucking term, love bombing? Do you think that that's sustainable? Do you think that that's who that person really is? Like, I would be super
After 4 months, no.
I would be super cautious of that.
Yeah, I would be very skeptical.
And that's where I was when you were talking about that just now. Like,
no, that's a good point.
I would be worried about that.
Yeah.
4 months into a relationship, like, I don't even know you. Mm-hmm. What kind of, unless we're together 24/7, inseparable.
Inseparable?
Whatever. I don't know you. Like, right. We haven't seen, like, I haven't even, the likelihood of me seeing, like, the way that you will treat a server on a bad day, right? Like, there's so much that I don't know about your personality yet.
Oh my gosh, how you talk to, like, the customer service bank phone number on a bad day?
Right. Like, I don't know you enough to justify saying that you paying my debt off. Like, I would be so concerned about somebody throwing that over my head later in life, like dangling it. Like, you ever have somebody give you something and throw it in your face 6 months later?
Gosh, yes. Oh gosh, years later.
Right. That's years I would be afraid of that. And that's why I don't allow people to do shit for me.
Yeah,
because
agree.
I don't want somebody to be like, well, you remember that one time I did that? That's why when AJ started working for us, I paid him out of my pocket instead of letting him work for free, because I don't want anybody to ever say, well, I did that for you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a mutual exchange here. There was an ebb and flow. And if I do for somebody, I know I'm not going to throw that shit in somebody's face. But if somebody's like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not pushing it. Mm-hmm. 4 months in, I would be very, very concerned that somebody's going to throw that shit over my head. And that's probably my trauma speaking.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's the same for me.
Yep.
Yep. Next question. Since when did people start saying my money is my money, not ours?
When you work for it. If we're not married and we're not living together and we're not really doing that yet, it is my money, not ours. Mm-hmm. If we are living as one flesh and we've decided that we're going to do the thing, it is our money. At what point does it become our money? That should be the question.
Yes. That's a good question.
I think that it becomes our money when we decide that we are going to live together and get our own place together. Not me moving in with you, not you moving in with me. We're going to buy a house or we're going to go buy a car together. When we start doing something where both of our names is going to be on something, or I'm getting put on your lease or you're getting put on mine or whatever,
right?
Then it's ours. Then we need to start living like it's ours. And if you need to have a separate bank account for your own safety or security in the beginning of the relationship, you should do that. Mm-hmm. And then when you're really truly secure and you know you're not going to need that money, you either move that into a Roth IRA or you take a dope ass vacation or use it for your wedding, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. There you go. Taby said, I had a guy who tried to pay my rent at 4 months. I didn't need it. I asked him not to, but he knew where my landlord was and went and paid it anyways. He brought it up months later as a reason I should have sex with him. I was sick because he paid my rent. Sex when I was sick. So that, he basically called you a whore. That's how I view that.
That's how I view that too.
Yep.
Like you went out of your way to go behind my back to talk to somebody in person to pay my rent to use as leverage to get access to my body sexually.
Yep.
I feel like you're a threat.
Jackie, can you rephrase your question? Because I don't understand what you're asking me. Ella said, if people give me money out of the blue, I always ask if it's a gift or a payback. I never just take undisclosed assumptions. So I don't either, but I also make it a point to never loan what I can't lose, and I never tell people they have to pay me back.
Right.
If somebody asks me for money, I always tell them, this is it. If you decide you want to pay me back, cool, but I don't expect it. Mm-hmm. Because I know that if you don't pay me back, we're going to have major fucking problems because you lied to me. It's never about the money. It's about your honor and your word.
Amen.
Yep. Let's see if she answers the question, because I don't know. Do you have a check specific for financial? Do you mean like a checking account where we pay all of our bills with? Because yes. Or do you mean like, or do you mean a check-in? A check-in for financial. Okay.
I think we do, don't we?
We're working on it. That was the discussion 3 days ago. Zach is doing the fucking check-in thing, and finances are going to be on the new check-in document. Yep. We're brainstorming all of that right now, which is nice because it's not just you and I. We have other intelligent people helping.
Oh, it's so nice to have other brain power.
It really is.
Oh.
It really is.
Yeah.
Zach said, can confirm.
All right. Do you want to get into the update?
Yeah. And then we'll wrap up.
All right. So this is a 6-month update. So by this point, they are at
10 months.
10 months. Oh, you're so fast with it.
What was that? What was that?
That's me going, I can understand why they put me in 245 sessions of math for 3 years of high school.
That's so funny. Guys, we will get to some question and answers. We'll hang out with you guys for a little bit after this.
Yes. All right, so the update is, this still stands. All my friends disagree with shared bank accounts. Their money is their money. My boyfriend and I have not joined bank accounts yet, and it has been a conversation that we both had, one that I was scared to have. He was more than willing to share an account together. For me personally, I end up backing out in fear that what had happened to me would happen again, and I would be in financial despair. We are close to hitting our year mark in our relationship, and I'm beyond blessed. I do feel like I want to wait till we are married to make that financial commitment. In that process of me backing out, I realized I was rushing myself into something I wanted so badly. Ooh, I'm glad you recognized that.
I forgot there was an update.
Yep. Oh.
I would have skipped a whole lot of the shit I was talking about had I remembered that you said there was an update. I do think that when you get married, I don't think that it should be your money anymore. It doesn't need to be our money
Right.
because you're married. Like that changes things. But that also is because of the way that I view marriage.
Right. We are one.
Right. But if you're a year into a relationship with somebody and you're living with somebody and you're being watered and your life is good, your friends need to shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah. Take a step back seat.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say Becky.
I mean, that works
a lot
too.
of B's.
That works too.
Continuing on.
Yep.
He truly has been patient with me during my healing path and has held my hand while I put my pieces back together. I felt like this was a journey I had to do on my own because I didn't feel like it was his burden to bear. Later, he became slightly agitated that I wasn't leaning on him a lot. To be honest, I was slightly scared and didn't feel he needed to repeatedly hear about my ex. That's not fair to him. But emotionally, I did start to lean on him when I became anxious or depressed. He really is a man that I don't think I deserve most days. He's taken on so many challenges so that he can take care of me, like getting an apprenticeship and getting his EPA cert.
Do you think that people who say, I don't deserve that man or I don't deserve that woman or I'm with somebody that I don't really feel like I deserve, do you think that that's just a phrase? Do you think that's like a cliche thing to say? Like you hear people say all the time, I didn't think I'd make it to 21.
Right.
Right.
Think I'd live this long.
Right. Because it's just everybody says it.
I've said it.
It's probably something that I saw on
stand by
TV, right? And like it sounded good and it created an emotion in me, so I'm not going to repeat it.
Yeah.
That's how I hear that. Some of us have actually lived lives where we shouldn't be alive still. But to throw that around, it's cliche.
Yeah.
So when I hear somebody say, because I've said that, I don't believe I deserve you. But the difference between me saying I don't believe I deserve you is my action versus me just saying that, because I'm not worried about what was happening in my previous relationships. I know what I did wrong and I learned how to move past that and do the right thing. And I'm taking actions to be the man that I feel you deserve, right? Because that's the difference between you just living your life and me being, I'm so lucky I don't deserve her. No, fuck that. I'm earning this position, damn it. Like,
thank you.
That's the difference, though.
Thank you for the effort.
That's the difference. That's what I'm saying. So when I hear people say that shit, it's a cliche thing.
Right.
Don't tell me you don't deserve that person, and then in 3 sentences earlier say that you're still emotionally attached to your ex, or you have trauma from 5 relationships ago, or your 3rd grade teacher called you a fart face and now you have weird sensory issues. Like, that shit has nothing to do with the man that you're with. If you think that you don't deserve him, you need to get over that shit and be the fucking woman that you think he deserves.
I agree.
Otherwise, don't say that shit.
Correct.
Okay.
I agree. I also, oh man, I'm going to share something with you guys. I don't think I've ever told you this.
Is this a fart in school thing?
No, but it is a 3rd grade thing.
Okay.
And I still ruminate on it. I go, fuck that teacher.
Okay.
So I had this teacher, 3rd grade, little old me. I don't know what it was about me that she didn't like, but she didn't like me. And one day we were on the playground and there was this like really thin edge of the cliff thing you can walk on, but it was exposed and there was a bar that you held on to. And wait your turn, wait till the other kid's off safely didn't exist back then. Everyone's just going and it's all for one.
Right.
And the girl in front of me was one of my good friends. I remember all of this very distinctly because I ruminated on it a while. She fucked my confidence hard. And she was like, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. And I was like, no, we're doing good. I was like, I can't turn around and go back. There's 6 kids behind me. And she was like, but I can't go forward. And I was like, I want to go. I don't know what to tell you to do. And she was like, I'm going to jump. And I was like, okay. And she jumped and she broke both of her arms.
Damn.
And the teacher told everybody that I pushed her.
Damn.
Yes.
That's like some fucking child torture shit. Like,
and
were you torturing rabbits too? Like, were you like hurting animals? You fucking sicko.
But like, I was so devastated because like I couldn't fathom why she thought I would do that. And the rest of my time at that school, I ended up switching schools.
Yeah.
Was hell.
I bet.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that good. I do have a fart homeroom thing that you had heard about.
I remember that.
I had a teacher once, and I'm not going to say her name, even though I fucking remember everything about this woman. I hated her guts.
Oh, God, I get it.
She was like
dirty blonde hair.
450 pounds and like 5'2".
Okay.
She had a giant gullet of a neck looking like a frog. And one day in class, she was
not me wanting to go ribbit.
She was eating or doing something, and I raised my hand, and she's like, "What, Mr. Burkett?" And I was like, "You got something on your chin." And she went, and I was like, "Not that one." To the principal's office. I was such a fucking savage as a kid. I fucking hated that woman. Hated her. I had another teacher that actually was right across the hall from her at the same school that I got the next year.
Hang on, I need to breathe. Oh, God, I can just imagine me sitting in class doing my work and you doing that. And she's going that. And you're like, no, the other one. I don't think I would be able to control myself from like hooting or slapping the desk.
It got a really good laugh, and I got a whole lot of trouble for it.
Oh, my gosh.
The next year, the teacher directly across the hall, we'd go to that class, and he was a first-year teacher, so he had no discipline in the class. And nobody did work when we went in there. He would try to teach, and we'd all like huddle our desks around each other and move his furniture in the classroom. And he could do nothing about it because he would tell us not to, and he would never write us up. Well, when he finally got the balls to write us up, I tried to slam the door, and he caught it and shut the door. And I ran around the lockers, and I came back and I opened the door and I fucking slammed it like 3 times. And you could hear it echoing down the halls. I was such a piece of shit as a kid. I had no fucking chill whatsoever.
I can tell. Holy shit.
Intrusive thoughts are wild.
Our daughter keeps hitting me with, well, my brain's telling me to do it. I'm like, no, sweetheart, that's an intrusive thought. You're in charge of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
When I realized that there was nothing anyone could do to me that hadn't been done already.
You feel invincible.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Haven't died yet. Yeah. Crazy.
What?
I'm just thinking of like embarrassing moments from grade school now.
Yeah. We could do a Patreon episode about that if you want.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I actually have something that I'm going to divulge to Patreon. But that needs to be when we're not having a good day. Because if I start talking about that, it's going to disrupt this entire thing.
Okay.
But I do want to have a conversation that stemmed from Voice of the Broken episode 11.
Okay.
So.
You ready to keep going then?
Yes.
Okay. I have never been someone who wants to financially support me or us. Often when he would do thoughtful or nice things for me, like surprise me with a dinner, gifts, candies, and overall affection, it was all overwhelming. I was always curious if there was an ulterior motive, behind his actions. Pardon me. Ulterior motive behind the actions. Finally, for almost a year, I learned to accept these precious moments and memories. My past abusive relationship held me back from accepting so much love, kind, and touching gestures. This put a wedge in our relationship, but only a small one. With therapy and him by my side, I managed to put my past behind me.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Our relationship is by far perfect. Do you mean, okay. I'm just going to continue. And we have hurdles to overcome, but we did it together as a team.
Right.
But now I have a man who sacrificed so much and a man who gives just as much as I do in our relationship.
Her going to therapy is becoming that woman that she believes he deserves.
I agree.
Right? So that's what I was talking about earlier. She's doing the fucking work.
Right.
So if she believes that she's not that woman and she's overcoming her past traumas with therapy and like he's helping, that's it. You shouldn't say that anymore. You can still say that because maybe it'll make you work to be better, but
yeah.
I don't know. Is that the end of it?
No.
Oh.
I'm trying not to hyperfixate on my brain. So I'm trying not to hyperfixate, but I am hyperfixating, but I'm jumping from thing to hyperfixate on. And I'm taking a deep breath.
Okay.
Because you're saying things and the email is saying things and I'm thinking things and I'm living past things that are relevant to things that you're saying and things that are in the email. Do you think anyone who has gotten anything done ever had like ADHD or something?
Why would you ask that?
Because like the thought of building the Eiffel Tower is a lot.
Well, there was not a person that built the Eiffel Tower. There was a person who designed the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
And then hundreds of people built it.
But the commitment to it. It was somebody's dream.
It was a dream.
Right.
Yeah, I think that happens all the time. The To Be Better podcast, The Voice of the Broken, Sacred Rights Tattoo, Black Sails Tattoo.
But it came
Chris
from
Burkett Photography.
Hyperfixation.
That's what it comes from.
Right.
ADHD is a fucking superpower.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's shunned and drugged for people that have a hard time sitting still in school.
Yeah.
You put somebody that has a passion about something in front of something with ADHD and they can hyperfixate on it, it's game over.
Yeah. Did you hear that little story I was telling our son last night?
No. Yes, the jousting thing?
Yeah. I was making things up and he was hyperfixating on something. I was like, no, son, that's just a small detail. I was like, don't hyperfixate on this. It's not the main story. And he was like, no, but this. I was like, son, you're hyperfixating. Don't do this right now. And he was like, you're right. And I was like, we're going to move on. And he's like, okay. And we did. And I'm really, really recognizing that he will be that problematic child in school.
Yep.
Because it's evolving. He gets under control when he's under control, but it's a lot to bring it down.
Right.
Because he wants to move and parkour and make mouth noises. I think he will do really well in homeschooling once he gets his speech under control and understands interactions with peers.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like 5th grade is when I want to. Carrying on. Now sacrifice so much. I'm not sure if this is a big emotional step for me, but he's the first man who I would cry in front of and share my emotions with, and he holds me in those moments. I know y'all wanted positive stories to tell, so this is mine. Backstory, we met online in a video game app, and I was dating at the time, and he knew that, and we were just friends. He knew I was dating. He knew I was going on a date, and one night I came home from my date, my boyfriend, said that he didn't like that, said that he wanted to talk to me exclusively, wanted me to delete all the dating apps and put our efforts in just each other, that he liked me and wanted me. Something about a man wanting me and being so upfront was a turn on and a good feeling. We talked for a month and then met in South Carolina. He drove 9 hours from Florida and I drove 2 hours from North Carolina. Any thoughts?
Nope.
Okay.
I got a lot of them, but I'm not going to get into it.
Okay. We had a whole vacation together that he fully paid for. This was new to me, and that was my first time having somebody pay for everything. Before he arrived, his phone died. He got lost and quickly wrote my number down and called me on a stranger's phone. We met in front of a fudge shop. Oh, I love fudge. He could tell I was nervous, so we went on a walk. He lightened up the mood. He was goofy and took my glasses and wore them and put his sunglasses on me, and he kept taking pictures of us together and of me and telling me how beautiful I was. I love that you enjoyed that. Reading that has me overstimulated.
Is that because you're baked or?
No, so that's the first time they met in person. And it's, don't touch my glasses. And it's like it was the exchanging of the glasses and then taking a lot of photos, and that would make me personally uncomfortable. But I love that she enjoyed it.
Yeah, it sounds like puppy love.
Yeah.
Yep. Vacations are a strange thing. Meeting somebody for the first time that you've been long distance with is a strange thing.
Yeah.
And I say that because us on vacation, when we're not doing meet and greets and it's just the two of us, we are very different than when we're at home because we are alone on the moon.
Yeah.
This is a whole foreign environment. We are the only two people that we know here. And there is a very different energy about us. There's no independence. We are codependent as a motherfucker on each other when we're on vacation. All I can think of is people who meet for the first time, if they have that,
right.
Now what? Right? Like,
yeah.
And if you expect that that's what it's going to always be, you're going to be in for a letdown. It sucks coming back home.
I hate it. Oh God, I hate it.
Because we always have to come back home and I have to go back to work and you've got a mom and like.
Yeah, and we got to do life things.
Right. If there were no kids and there was no podcast and we were just independently wealthy and we could travel the world and that was our life all the time, it'd be gangster.
It would be.
It's just not reality. So
one day.
But I think that it's important to recognize that. And for that to be a thing for her, I do believe that's puppy love. Mm-hmm. So good. That's fucking amazing.
It is.
Yep.
It's dope. I love that he went out of his way to call from a stranger's phone to let her know that he got lost.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, I'd be so worried sick.
Yeah. Do you, oh man, called from a stranger's phone.
It goes to voicemail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll skim the voicemail through text because I don't want to hear your voice either. Unless it's my husband, right? If it's like a call from the kid's school.
Yeah.
I can read the voice text. I don't need to hear your monotonous tone.
Yep.
But if it's like multiple calls from the same phone number, then I'm like, oh, is it an emergency? Yeah. If it's a wrong number, they usually text after the phone call.
Yeah.
Back to the email?
Yep.
This man drove me all over North Carolina, Hilton Head, just so I could see one alligator, and he was determined to make that happen for me. Oh, I love that. What was the highest amount of gators we saw on that drive?
70 something?
70 something?
Yep. We were in the 70s.
You went along with that game just because it made me happy.
Mm-hmm. And now it's a thing.
Now it's a thing. I love that. I love that they went out of their way for one gator. This man swept me off my feet on our vacation, and he was a gentleman the whole time. We went back to our separate homes. The same month, I moved back to, PA, is that Pennsylvania? With my family, and I transferred my job and couldn't transfer again. So this man moved to my state after 1 month of us meeting. We have been inseparable since. Like I said previously, he's got a trade under his belt now for us, and now we're moving back down to Florida. I plan to go back to school with his support. He has given me so much, and I cherish all of our laughter and memories shared. He still brings me closer to my faith, and we read a chapter a night in the Bible. We did fall out of doing it, but I'm still grateful. Oh gosh, a rain notification popped up. I'm still grateful he does those things with me. He makes those efforts, and they are never unnoticed. I often reflect on them and can't believe that I'm living in a fairy tale. We are still learning from each other, and we clearly do fight, but we always come back to each other with words of empathy. I do have one side question. I do really struggle with venting about my relationships when we are arguing. He's not a bad person. We just sometimes have hard moments, and I don't know how to overcome that.
So why do you vent? Right? Because there's two thought processes that I have on this. One is that you are seeking attention elsewhere. Right?
Okay, so I need a clarification. Did you take this as she's going outside of her relationship to vent about him and what's going on?
About their relationship, yeah.
Okay.
And I believe you do that for one of two reasons.
Okay.
One,
attention.
Or two, you don't know how to self-regulate.
Yes.
And you're looking for validation. Am I wrong for what I'm doing? And that speaks on your belief in self, right? Mm-hmm. That you're questioning your ability of is this real? And I say that because that was always my phone call.
Yeah.
Because I can't trust my own thoughts because of my borderline. So I have to call somebody and be like, hey, this just happened. I need to know if my reaction is justified because I'm about to burn the fucking building down.
Right.
Right? So like, I need to know to what extreme to respond to that. If somebody's like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up, but just let it go. Mm-hmm. It's very different than if I made that phone call and dude was like, you need to go back in there and knock his teeth out. Like, because now I've got to pass, right? So like, you need to, for me, it always comes down to, I need to know if my reaction to the situation is justified.
Or appropriate.
Appropriate, yeah. So, and I think the other one does come down to attention. If you want to run around telling everybody about your problems, it's because you want attention from the world. Yeah. You want people to feel sorry for you. You want them to be all up in your business. Like,
something that I did in the past when I was toxic, and I've known other women to do, was go to people of the opposite sex to get validation that, no, you're beautiful, he's just wrong, I would never do that to you. Yep. To feel, was it available but taken? I remember somebody in the tattoo industry telling me a phrase.
That was me that told you that.
Oh.
Yeah. It wasn't be available but taken. It's this is we would have these conversations about tips and things like that. Mm-hmm. And you see it a lot in like the bar industry. You're flirty even though you're unavailable. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember the phrase now because you just put me on the spot with it, but that's very much a thing. You want to be forthcoming and outgoing, but unavailable. So people can look at you and think that they have a chance. And it's like that with any woman who wants to make big money, because it doesn't matter if it's male or female. The more personable you are with your client, the better. Women make more money than men in service industries, period.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Continuing on.
Yep.
Oh, the question about venting.
Available but unattainable. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Question about venting.
We just sometimes have hard moments, and I don't know how to overcome that. I feel like if I don't talk to someone, I'll explode and can't handle it sometimes.
Well, you got a therapist, so go to your therapist.
Right. How do you deal with that? Because I know it's not healthy, and I do try to be mindful, but I do slip up. You handle it by going inwards, not outwards. When there's conflict in the relationship, you don't turn away from it, you turn towards it.
Yep. You need to resolve shit with your person, not run around talking to other people.
Right.
If you can't talk to your person, he's not your person. Right? And this falls into what we were talking about earlier. If you get to the point where you got to shut down just to make the fucking conflict stop because you guys can't come to resolution, there's a problem. That's a fucking problem. We had that problem and we got over that shit by realizing that we had to fucking talk to each other.
Right.
If I got super mad at you and went and told Bob, man, my fucking wife, blah, 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 and then come home and act like nothing happened, we are never going to come to resolution. I went and vented to somebody else about my fucking problems because I can't talk to you. How is that going to ever get us to where we need to be? Now resentment's going to start building. That little tiny pebble of a problem is going to become a snowball that's going to turn into an avalanche. And it's going to get to the point where we no longer talk about fucking anything of importance. And then all we do is fight and nag, and then the relationship ends. Can't do this shit.
Yeah. That whole description made my neck hurt.
Was that the end of the email?
No, we're almost there, though.
Okay. Why is your neck hurt?
Because the pebble going into a snowball and trying to stop that snowball after it's going, and the arguing and the defensiveness and the unhappiness and the depression, the routine, the monotony made my body ache.
Yeah, it's ugly to me.
Oh, I can feel the stress being pent up in my muscles. Back into the email. Either way, I'm blessed to have this Florida man in my life who has made me whole. God really did send me a man who I finally deserve. I pray this continues and that every memory we make will never be forgotten. He keeps me grounded. I do want to say this. I never thought I would have a partner that I could talk with about tough topics like finances, children, religion, and more, but he somehow makes those conversations easy.
Then why can't you talk to him when you're having problems with your relationship?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Why do you need to vent to other people? I truly believe that when you start taking anything out of your relationship and bring it to anyone else, the negativity bias that is created with the people in your life changes the way they view your person.
You break that seal.
Yeah. And if they start to dislike your person, anytime there's anything going on, they're going to talk shit about your person.
Yeah.
And if you're mad at them and you're weak enough to allow them to continue to do that, what could have been just a misunderstanding is now a big ass fight because Susie Homewrecker had a negative opinion about what's going on in the relationship, and now you got to go home and make that argument now too.
Right.
Don't do that shit.
Or all your single bro friends are making pretty compelling arguments about how they have a free life and they can do whatever they want. And
you don't need that shit.
They're still getting pussy without having to deal with the nagging aspect of it.
Yep. It's ugliness.
It's a lot of ugliness.
And you do this shit to yourself by taking it outside of the relationship.
Yep.
Was that the end of the email? All right, guys, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.